lasciarmi, s'io mi struggo in pianto.
James Gray's beautiful drama, The Immigrant, is currently wrapping up its small theatrical release in the United States. Many critics have gone the extra mile in their coverage because a movie like this doesn't come along every day. Every one of Gray's interests and obsessions is up there on screen, and with a budget big enough to bring it to full, ravishing life. After more than a decade of shooting modest, intimate motion pictures, he expanded his canvas. It took many months before a distributor was willing to take a chance on it. A distributor by the name of Harvey Weinstein, famous for shortchanging art films whenever the mood strikes. In the early 90s, he bought the rights to Leos Carax's masterpiece, Lovers on the Bridge, and then let it sit in a vault for 8 years, unseen by American eyes. That was the final insult to Carax's film, which had been plagued by problems from day one. Circumstances dragged the film's production out over a number of years, and it never earned back its runaway budget. Feeling wounded and misunderstood, Carax started preparing his next movie, a radical adaptation of Herman Melville's novel, Pierre, or The Ambiguities. Pola X, as it came to be known, was Leos Carax's fourth film, and though it bears many of his unmistakable stylistic hallmarks, it bears little resemblance to his early work. Boy Meets Girl, Mauvais Sang, and Lovers on the Bridge were all about the beautiful pain of falling in love, whirlwind tales of amour fou, where all that matters is staring into the eyes of the one you love. Pola X explores the dark side of falling in love, when it's wrong, and dirty, and immoral. The impossibly handsome Guillaume Depardieu plays Pierre, a young author days away from his marriage to a girl every bit his equal, rich, lovely, and passionate. Then, his long-lost sister enters his life, and everything changes. When he hears about her tortured upbringing, he relinquishes his wealth, and lives with her in expressionistic squalor, finally landing with a peculiar, militarized commune. Pierre's protection of his sister turns into something like romance, as his life falls farther and farther from the idyllic splendor he once enjoyed until he's completely broken. If that sounds like rough sailing, just imagine it filtered through one of the most intense gazes the French cinema ever laid claim to. Carax's touchstones, percussive rhythm, sharp compositions bleeding with primary colors, eye-popping coups de cinema. A pre-Raphaelite sensitivity towards bodies and faces. Were hitherto used to externalize passion, render it in cinematic terms. In Pola X, Carax's gifts are used to ride through the eye of a storm, to show how wretched we can make ourselves, how much damage we can cause before self-preservation kicks in. It's a mad lashing out at a world that did not seem to welcome Carax's temperament, a troubling visit to the deepest, most vulgar recesses of his mind. It's rage written in light, thrown at movie screens like a can of paint at a wall.
That rhythm cracks like this one, and this one cracks like those over there, and those over there crack like these two. Bring in those stratas, bring in those stratas.
That it's totally peerless might explain its critical reception. At its Cannes premiere, half the audience applauded while the other booed. Even positive reviews used the word failure. Critics largely didn't know what to make of the wonky structure, the graphic sex scenes, the breaks in stylistic continuity. The confounded reception that greeted Pola X kept Carax from making another feature for 12 years. Like Pierre, Leos Carax was in agony over his place in the world, reeling from a crippling artistic crisis, uncertain how to stay true to himself. Any film this personal was going to be a tough sell, but those to whom the film speaks would never trade the furious spell it casts for something safer. During its small theatrical run, Roger Ebert wrote that he was, quote, grateful for films that break free of the dismal bonds of formula to cartwheel into overwrought, passionate excess. This is a weakness, but I'm protective of it. In turn, whenever works of art like Pola X or The Immigrant, films that take real risks, see the inside of movie houses, we must never take them for granted. The only reason good art gets made is because there are audiences willing to take risks of their own.